Hello doctors, be welcome and join me to discuss one of the deadliest diseases of today's world. Today we're speaking about cancer. Cancer is the rapid creation of abnormal cells that grow beyond their usual boundaries. They invade the adjoining parts of the body and also spread to other organs, which is called metastasizing. And here are some key facts about cancers. Cancer is the second leading cause of death globally, and is responsible for an estimated 9.6 million of deaths in 2018. Think about it. It means that every minute, more than 18 people die from cancer. Tobacco use is the most important risk factor for cancer and is responsible for 22% of all the cancer deaths. There are 5 main behavioral and dietary risks for cancer. They are a high BMI, which is obesity or overweight, insufficient fruit and vegetable intake, a lack of physical activity, tobacco use, and also alcohol use. Cancer arises from the transformation of normal cells into tumor cells in a multi-stage process that progresses from a precancerous lesion to a malignant tumor. The changes are the result of the interaction between a person's genetic factors and also external agents. Cancer mortality can be reduced if cases are detected and treated early. When identified early, cancer is more likely to respond to effective treatment and can result in a greater probability of surviving, less morbidity, and less expensive treatment. And now let's practice the new vocabulary. The first word is rapid. Rapid means happening in a short time or at a great rate. Boundary. Boundary is a line which marks the limits of an area, also called a dividing line. Globally. Globally means in a way that relates to the whole world. To estimate. To estimate means roughly calculate or judge the value, number, or maybe even quantity. Behavior is the way in which an animal or a person acts in response to a particular situation or stimuli. To arise, we use it when we're speaking about some problem, opportunity, or situation. It means to appear or to become apparent. To interact. To interact means to act in such a way as to have an effect on each other. Lesion. Lesion is a region in an organ or tissue which has suffered damage through injury or disease. Morbidity is the condition of being diseased, while mortality is the state of being dead, especially on a large scale. And now it's time to what did the professor say? Let's watch the video.
And here I would like to make a very important statement. For the last couple of years, we all went around and used to say heart failure is more malignant than cancer. Heart failure inevitably leads to death, which was true 25-30 years ago, but it is not true any longer.
Let me repeat the professor's words for you. And here I'd like to make a very important statement. For the last couple of years, we went around and used to say that heart failure is more malignant than cancer. Heart failure inevitably leads to death. It was true 25-30 years later, but it is not true any longer. Let's listen to the professor one more time, and this time let's use the subtitles.
And here I would like to make a very important statement. For the last couple of years, we all went around and used to say heart failure is more malignant than cancer. Heart failure inevitably leads to death, which was true 25-30 years ago, but it is not true any longer.
I want to discuss a couple of interesting phrases from the professor's speech. To go around. To go around here means to go in circles, to repeat something. There is also a proverb in English, what goes around comes around. It means that the way you treat other people may influence the way other people will treat you. So be careful. Inevitable means something that is certain to happen and can be prevented. For example, eventually the inevitable happened and he had a heart attack. Now, let's speak about grammar. Let me introduce something really interesting today. Let's speak about present perfect. So what is the present perfect? The present perfect is used to indicate a link between the present and the past. The time of the action is before now, but not specified, and we are often more interested in the result than in the action itself. The present perfect is used to describe an action or situation that started in the past and continues in the present. For example, I have worked in the hospital since 2005. An action performed during a period that has not yet finished. For example, the cardiologist has performed 2 transplantations this week. A repeated action in an unspecified period between the past and now. We have visited our colleagues from Germany several times. An action that was completed in very recent past, expressed by just. I have just requested an MRI. An action where the time is not important. For example, he has cured the patient, or he's cured the patient. To form negative sentences, we use haven't or hasn't. For example, I haven't seen the results yet, or he hasn't seen his patient since 2005. To ask a question, we put have or has at the beginning of the sentence. For example, have they been inevitably sick? Or has she picked up her drugs? And now let's switch to translation from Russian into English. Для предотвращения рака груди ежегодно женщины делают маммографию. To prevent breast cancer, women annually do a mammogram. Мужчинам и женщинам рекомендовано делать онкоскрининг раз в несколько лет. Both women and men are recommended to do a screening for cancer every other year. Адъювантная химиотерапия нужна для того, чтобы уменьшить опухоль в размерах. Preoperative chemotherapy is required to shrink the tumor down. Обычно проводится несколько сеансов химиотерапии. Most chemotherapy treatments are given in repeating cycles. При удачном лечении время до возникновения рецидива называется ремиссия, и она может продолжаться от нескольких недель до конца жизни. The time before relapse is called remission, and it can range from several weeks till the end of the life. According to the World Health Organization, this is the number of people who died from cancer while you were watching this video, and your mission is to reduce this number. Find the PDF file attached under this video and stay healthy.